Okay, so Sangeetan, tell me like when I actually covered all these things like the basic navigation and what timeline does and the stuff. So
Yes, you actually explained about what
where
host,
we
source, and source type means, and how is the timeline.
and not this fields, right? Not this one.
Yeah, you explained
Not on
this
this one.
field, like the
No,
date
I
and
Yeah.
everything.
no, I know that I did. I'm asking like Sankirtan left early, right? So I mean, when I was covering this one, so were you present at that time?
Uh, I guess I was present at that time. Yeah, this is a daytime, so it has a, I remember now. So this daytime stamp doesn't match with the one on the left because it has its own daytime stamp.
Okay, so can't recall like which was the last thing that I covered when you were not present. So I guess it was I don't think. Okay. Anyways, let me start with today's session. Okay. If you think
Yeah,
that
sure, sure.
something is missing and you are not understanding, just let me know and I will repeat that topic. No problem.
Okay,
Okay.
sure, no problem.
All right. So the only thing that was left from module 3 is this save search results. And apart from that, I covered 1, 2, and 4. And I will cover module 5 today and partially module 7. Okay. All right. Uh, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is that just a sec. So the first thing I'll be doing is save search results. Okay. Now, so as I was saying on my last session that this is the search box or the query box, whatever you want to call it, where you are supposed to write the search queries known as SPL or Splunk processing language. Basically, it's equivalent to a SQL query, but it's more like an Unix command where you use multiple command separated by pipe signs. So I'm not going to details of the Unix commands because I know that not all of you have this Unix experience. But let me explain one interesting, or rather, I would say one crucial thing that is necessary or essential for writing a SPL query. So basically, that is not, excuse me. So that thing is not part of today's session, but it will be needed if I need to or explain you any search query. So, so the first thing that I will do is that I will use one filter in my uh, search query that I have written so far. So basically, it's nothing but pointing the index, the first day. Second thing that I'm gonna do is that I will use one filter. So if you can recall, using a filter is simple thing. Like you just have to go into the fields, interesting fields, and you have to select just one of them. Let's say you have this requirement where you want to know that how many purchase took place purchase took place in your website. So all you have to do is that you have to just click on this field and automatically it will add one filter. So all the events that you will be seeing here will have this purchase action equal to purchase. So to check that thing, just go through your data. You will see that all of your data will have this action equal to purchase here as well. Action equal to purchase. Action equal to purchase. I can highlight this one. So I have highlighted this term. So as you can see, all all of the events that you're seeing in the Splunk window are having this action equal to purchase fields in it. Okay. Now I used one thing, this pipe separator. This is the, as I said, like it's the most important thing if you have to learn the SPL or Splunk processing language. Now what is this pipeline is all about? So to explain it in more lucid way, let me do one thing. So this is the main source that I have, where I have index equal to tutorial and one interesting field named as action with this particular value called purchase. Now, if I go into further, I want to dig further, what I can do is that on top of this search query, I can add another filter. So let's say I want to add another filter, or let's say I have this requirement of extracting an information related to one particular client, and I know the IP address of that client. So say that client IP is this one. Okay. So the same thing, I will just click on it and it will add that client IP on top of my existing search query. Okay. Now it's now only showing 59 events for this client IP. Now for the timing, just let me remove it. Okay. And I will keep it in. And I will do this main search again. I will use a pipe sign. I will explain what is a pipe sign and I will do this thing. Search. And I will add it here. Excuse me. As you can see, the result is same. I mean, when I use the client IP equal to this in the main search, it will showing me 59 events. And now when I used a pipe separator, used another keyword called search and do this thing, it's still showing me the same result. So basically what I'm trying to convey to you is that is how, I mean, the result will be same, but it's just that I have done it in different way. Now why I did it, you will understand while I'll be writing the advanced or more complex queries. You might ask that if I am having the same result just by doing it, what's the need of using a pipe sign and then using a search on top of that? You will understand it eventually, but for the time you understand that it's returning the same result, 59 events. Now, to elaborate what this pipe sign is doing, let me explain it to you this way. Just think that this pipe sign, the left side of this pipe sign is your input. Okay, consider this pipe sign as your machine. Okay, so basically machine, all machine have this common thing, like it will have some input and it will have some output. So the output will be always lesser in compared to the input because the machine will do some work, and so the output that you will be getting from any machine will be less compared to the input that you are giving it to. Okay, the same funda is excuse me, is this same thing is common here as well. Okay, so the left hand portion of the pipe sign is your input and the right hand portion of your pipe sign is your output. So the data that you will be feeding to your machine from the left is your main data. Okay, and the data that you will be getting from your right hand is your output data. So if I use another pipe here, and let's say I want to dig further, and I have this 8 different category IDs, right? and I want the data just for this strategy maybe. Okay, so I can do this way. Okay, so here this whole thing is my output and this whole thing is my input. So this data has knowledge of this input. Okay, now if I do this, okay, how many data are we seeing? 4 events. Okay, now let me do it this way. Excuse me. So now you'll have the same number of events, but the difference is that now you have two pipelines. Okay. Now the data that you will be seeing here is the output of this data, but not this one, because this third portion doesn't have any idea what was here in the search query prior to its predecessor, means this one. It will have the understanding of this part only and not this one. Okay. So basically you are segregating the data and you are telling that when you are writing anything here, it will have the knowledge of this data only. Why this is crucial is, uh, okay, I won't be explaining it right now because it will be complicated, but just understand that I'm not certain. Let's say this one is returning me 1,000 results. Okay. And I want to create 1,000 result. So I can write my search query here. Okay. So it will have that knowledge of 1,000 records only. Now I want to create another faster, report where I need just 4 or 6 events. So instead of writing that search query here in this portion which I have highlighted, I will write it here on top of another pipeline so that the result set will be less compared to the main result. Okay, so just for the timing, just understand it this way. But eventually, when I'll be writing the complex queries, or you will be writing it, you will understand why I need this pipe sign, because there is no hard and fast rule where you can use a pipe sign or not. It's your guts call that you have to make while writing it. Like as I said, I can do this thing just by doing it. I will have the same amount of data. I will have the same amount of 4 events. But why I have done it using that search is just to explain you. It's not that you have to do it in this way. It's your call, and it's as per the requirement that you have to do it. But I guess you have understand what's the significance of this pipe sign, because this is crucial. And if you haven't understood it clearly or properly the way it should be, just don't worry, you will understand it eventually. Okay. So you guys have any question, anything like regarding the pipe sign? Don't worry about this search terms and stuff. Just anything about this pipe sign? Okay, great. All right. Okay. Now the next thing that I'm gonna do is if you go into your Splunk instance and here just bottom of your search query bar, you will see one small button where if you just hover, you will have this export written on top of that as a tooltip. So basically, it's nothing just but saving your data locally. But if you do is that it will open a pop-up asking you to select the type of the data or the file which you will be using while saving the data. So let's say you want to save it as a CSV. So just name select the format, name it something like this, and you can have limited in limited number or in unlimited number. So if you select unlimited, just save the total number of events that you will have here in the search bar. Or else if you can select a limited and just set the number of events that you want. So if you select 100, and it's returning 1,000 results, so it will save the first 100 results for you. Okay, you export it, save it. Excuse me. Do try it in your machine. Okay. So now you have this 4 events, because my search query that I have written here is returning 4 events. So the Excel that has been created by that command is having this 4 events or 4 rows. Okay, and if you compare, you will see that these are the same results that you are seeing. Okay. All right. Another thing, I mean, the good thing about this is that, like, let's say you are working in a big team where people are working from India, from offshore, and you are working from onshore, or maybe your team is situated in California, and the other team, which is part of your big team, situated in some other city in US. So what will happen is that is instead of just sending the search query and or selecting the time modifiers from here, you can just export the data and can send it to them. Also, it's helpful when, let's say, if you want to send the data to your management, where people you know doesn't have any idea like what SPL is, or don't know how to write a search query. So in that case also you can share this data with them for business insight, or for anything. Okay, so that's all about the saving the data. Also, you can share the data in this way as well. Like let's say the data that you want to share uh, to the person is also having access to your Splunk instance, so you can just share this whole search query with them. Now, there is a drawback with this thing, like as is written here, that the job's lifetime has been extended to 7 days and read permissions have been set to everyone. So basically, from the job settings, which is an advanced thing, so I'm not gonna go into the details of that thing, but understand that the just a sec. Okay. Now, if you can see here, one important thing that I have highlighted here is the set value. Okay, this is the unique number and is related to this search query only. So if I change this search query, run it again, this set value will change. Okay, not necessarily the first part, but it might change this second part only as well. But as a whole, this whole thing is an unique entity. Okay, and it's unique for this search query only. So when you are sharing your search query, this sharing link, or this link will have that saved value in it. Okay, excuse me. Will have this seed value in it. So the good thing about is like, so consider it this way, like if you have a primary key in your database, and I guess you have all of you have this, you know database experience, I mean the basic experience. So is similar to a primary key. So if you have a primary key and you tell someone who is having the access to the database, and tell someone that this is the primary key, you can just write a search query or SQL query using that primary key, and it will fetch only those records where that primary key is present. It's similar, like you have the said value, you telling someone that this is the search query, or this is the saved value you should be using while searching, because this is the search query that I have written for this particular purpose. So that person will have access to this search only, not access, but that person will be able to see the search query that you have created. So you can share this whole link, or you can just, if that person is having idea of Splunk, like how to see search queries saved in temporary form. So what you can do is that you can just share this seed value to him, and this thing from starting from here up to this is common. So it's basically the IP address or the machine name, or since I'm using my local host, so it will be is showing me the local host. Otherwise, it would be showing the IP address. So if that person has knowledge, so he will have this search query, this first part with him already, and you need to just share this set value, and you will be able to see it. Okay. And as I said, that the lifetime of that job or that search query's result will be 7 days. Earlier it used to be, I guess, 24 hours in Splunk 5, but now it's 7 days. Okay. All right. Now, edit job settings, spec job, delete job. Okay, so these two things are not part of this session, and I'll be covering it in advanced thing. The only thing that I can tell you is like regarding the delete jobs. Basically, if I delete a job, it means that the search query is gone, and that seed value is also gone. Until unless I hit enter, that job has been, is no more in your system. And check, like the 49 is not here. And I guess this part has been changed as well by Splunk. Okay, so that the earlier seed value that I was showing you is no more, and you cannot tell that person that to see your search you can use that existing seed value. Rather, he has to use this new seed value. So you have to share this seed value once again. But as you can understand. This is a difficult thing to share shared values again and again, because moment you will hit enter, it will change something. It will keep it for 7 days only. So if someone has this requirement of seeing that data after 7 days, you won't be able to see it. Rather, so for that you have to again log into the Splunk instance, run this search, create a unique seed value, and have to share it once again with that person. So it's a difficult thing, right? So in this particular context, Splunk has this new feature called report. Okay, so I'm done with three. The only thing that was left from module three was this one. Already completed four. Now I'm going into module five. Okay, how to save a search as a report, edit reports, and create reports with visualizations. So I understand that the first 2 days have been boring, but I hope this particular session where I'll be creating reports will be colorful, because yeah, you are going you'll be seeing some colorful charts and stuff. People always like colors. I have this experience working with many clients. I'm always I don't understand, like they are always looking for some colorful visualization, no matter how important that is, or no matter whether that is actually giving them any business insight or not. Like if I share the raw results with them, they will say, "Oh, I don't like it." Even if it's giving them some business insight, they're always looking for some visualization and stuff. So I hope when you working, you will face that same situation. Anyways, okay. So I'm gonna use some command here. So don't worry, like why I'm using it and what's the significance of using it. But just understand like how if you have the SPL in your graphs, how you can create a report. Okay. So for the time, you just follow my lead and just see what I'm doing. Excuse me. Okay, let me explain it this way. Consider that I have this requirement where I want to create a tabular form of data where there will be only two columns. Consider it as a database table. Okay, I will have a table with two columns. The first column will be the client IP, where all the client IPs will be present, and let me draw it for you. Okay, I have this different client IPs, and these are some arbitrary numbers. Basically, counts are nothing but okay. So the second column, the count column, is nothing but the number of time that particular IP or that particular client visited my website. Okay, so basically this is the requirement. So let's say one website owner uh, ask you, to create a report where you want to see, like in last 24 hours, how many clients has logged into his website, and also how many times each of them has, has logged in. Okay, so this is the requirement. So the answer of this question or that requirement is this: stats count by client IP. As I said, don't worry, this is the SPL language that I'm using here. Basically what I'm doing is that I'm using a command called stats to display the data in statistical form. Okay, the count is provided by Splunk. It denotes the number of events. Okay, so basically count is a reserved keyword provided by Splunk to denote or to ex extract the number of events. By is also keyword, so basically I'm extracting the number of events by client IP. So as a whole, I'm trying to create a stats table by client IP and using count to extract the number of events. Okay, so if I hit enter, so here I've used all time because in last 24 hours I don't have any data. Okay, so I have used all time. Now if I hit enter, excuse me, and one thing here, the seed value, as you can see, the seed value is now a different one. Okay, anyways, so the report has been created, and as you can see, for each of the clients IPs I have the counts. Okay, for each of them. So basically this is the number of times that particular client has visited my website in all time, irrespective of any website, because recall I have 3 websites data and I haven't used any filter here. Okay, so if the requirement is to get the data, oh, sorry, I think I'm using a different index. This is the second index that I created on that day. I'm not wrong. Yeah, so if you can recall, like the data that we have is is nothing but the data of 3 different websites, www1, 2 and 3. So what I did over here is I did this like count by client IP. So okay, so basically it's creating a report for, I mean, irrespective of any website. But if your requirement is to create it for www1, so you can do this simple thing, like you can search on top of this data. Now this is how you have to just you have to go by your guts value. Like you can do this like this: search source equal to then this whole thing, this www1 access log. Okay, or sorry, excuse me. By the way, this command history that you are seeing here is very helpful. So the moment you write it once, Splunk has this memory where you can save it temporarily basis. So if you want to write it again, you can just click on it and it will do the same thing. Okay, enter. Now your requirement is to, okay, uh, yeah, search source. You won't be seeing any data. Now, can any one of you tell me like why I'm not seeing any data? Like if you can recall, like the first example that I did, I mean, no matter where I have used this filter, whether it's here or here, I was able to see the data, right? Now, can you tell me, like, any one of you, like, why I'm not seeing any data here?
because the output doesn't have these values. So this query has to be
Exactly.
followed by stats count by client IP.
Great, great. This is what I was expecting. Exactly. If I write this one, you won't be seeing any source here, anything related to source here. So that's why no matter, I mean, if I write it, whether it's a source or something else, other than client IP and count, you won't be seeing anything here. Excuse me. Now, if I write client IP equals, let's say this one, 111.1.6, you will have the result for that client IP because that client IP is present in your data here. So this is how you have to think. I mean, this is how I personally think when writing any search page. Like, this is my input, this is my output. So I have to make sure that the thing that I am using in my output is present in my input. Forget about the previous one. Okay. So I hope this one has cleared a little, a few doubts that you had earlier with pipe sign. Okay. All right. Now coming to that colorful thing. Okay, so I'll be creating this report client by client IP. Okay, so I have this report and okay, I'm not gonna do anything here. Now, if you just in the topmost corner of your Splunk bar, you will see one save as thing. So here you will find three different options, actually four, but you will be seeing that one because I have used the stats command. This fourth one, I'll explain it later. You will see that the first thing is report. Okay, it's very simple. You just click on it and you will have this window where you can name it. So let's say I name it right as report mm, count by client or count by visitors, or I mean whatever you want to write it. And also you can pick a time range picker here, and like for the timing I'll be selecting it yes, and if I select it no, why, how it will be, but different compared to selecting it with yes. I will show you. And also don't worry about this things for this for the timing. Okay, you can give a proper description here, because while you be sharing this report, not necessarily you have to go to that person individually and explain like what this particular report is all about. Whether you can give a suitable description here and that person will automatically understand. Okay, so that's it, and just save it and view it. So if you can recall, like as I was saying, that if I select no here, what will happen is that this particular thing will be there. Okay, if I selected no while creating this report, this drop down wouldn't be here. Okay, and you have this report with you and you have all these things like sharing, exporting, printing, this whole thing. Okay, I left this earlier. So basically it's nothing but if you click on it, it will just print the data. That's it. Anyways, uh, oops. Okay, let me save it one second. Hmm. actually that report is already in place and has been saved, but I am creating it because is that uh, I want to show you the navigation how to go into that report. 1 second. Anyways, so report count and visitors here, and okay, for the timing, instead of statistics table, let me save it as a column chart. Okay, and let me remove this time range picker and save it. Okay, so now you have that same report with some colorful visualizations. Okay, so now if you have this bars, individual bars for each of those clients. Now it doesn't make any sense, right? Like this is why I didn't use the visualization here. Like I understand that visualization speaks more compared to sentences or data, but you have to understand that it's not always that visualization will give you the best form, because let's say here you are seeing this many client IPs, but in real life or real environment you'll have 10 times or 20 times data that you are seeing here, or maybe more than that. So at that time, if you create a chart like this, where individual bar will represent a client IP, a person seeing this table will never get any business insight from it, because because if I have 10,000 of client IPs, I need to find it like this. Like I have to hover each of these bars to see like, okay, this mini this. If I move to this one, I will forget like what was there in the seventh or eighth bar. So in this particular scenario, is better or it's good or is best. I mean, recommended way is to have a stats table for this search query that I have written here. But if had it been like 4 or 5 cases events, let's say if I do it like this, excuse me. Here I have only I mean 5 rows, so it's better to have it in some visual form. Okay, so it's making a lot of sense. Okay, instead of this stats table, it's making a lot of sense for this particular scenario. So I can just hover. Okay, add to cart. How many? 5,743. Okay, how many? Okay, so it's making sense. Okay, so these are the things that you need to understand by yourself, and um, you will understand while working on it. So it will help. Okay, now coming to the navigation part. So anything else? Okay, okay. Now coming to that navigation part. Okay, now as I said on my very first session that I will be explaining you all these links, but in course of time I will tell you like how this each of these links are very unique and essential while working in Splunk. So if you can recall, in last day session I used this link, right? Data inputs while onboarding the data. So I didn't explain the whole thing, but I use this particular link, right? And also these three, I explained it on the first day session. Now today I'll show you this particular link. Okay, searches, reports, and alerts. So if I click on it, excuse me. Okay, now So if you just click on this particular link, you will have all the reports, and also from here you can set the app context. Like if you can recall, on the second day, I mean on last day session, I told you like you can create these reports and stuff specific to one particular application, right? So since I created this report on this search and reporting apps context, so if I select show only objects created in this app context, means this app, so it will only display those reports which has been created under this app. So if I select another one, let's say this one, so you won't be seeing anything because I haven't created, or I'm yet to create any report under this app. Okay, so these things that I'm telling you is not part of today's session, just so you just don't get confused. So it's another advanced thing, because it's a part of Splunk admin, because he will be responsible for managing this knowledge objects. Now don't ask what is a knowledge object, but for the timing, understand that report that you have created is a knowledge object, and as a Splunk admin, you will be responsible for managing those objects, like where to put this particular report, like whether it will be in this particular apps context or within in another apps context. Okay, and here the owner is nothing but the login credentials, or the the person's name that you are using uh, while logging into Splunk. Like here, the full name is this, so that's why the owner name that you are seeing here will be this administrator, and the admin is nothing but the user ID that you used to log in into the system. Okay, so if I change this administrator from the edit account, like what I have shown you on first day session, you will be seeing that one here. Okay, now I will only select, like in my system I have just only one user, one admin, but in a big system, in a big Splunk architecture, you will have a lot of people with different roles. Okay, so from here you can set that particular person. So let's say Sankirtan has created one report, and I want to see that report. So what Sankirtan can do is that he can tell me that this is the report name that I have created, report by action. He can just mail me with this report name. What I will do is that I will log into the Splunk system. I will set the app context, or I can just uncheck this one, because I don't know. Sankirtan doesn't tell me like under which app he has created. So I will just uncheck it. So all the reports that I'll be seeing here is irrespective of any app. Okay. The second thing that I'll be doing is that I will click on the owner dropdown. I will set Sankita's name from here. Okay, and once I select that one, I will have that, not that report, but I have a lot of reports. If Sanketan has created a lot of reports, so I'll be seeing all those reports creating within that particular owner's context. Okay, so no matter what I select here, actually no, actually no owner is also present here. Just a sec. This no owners reports that you are seeing here is actually default. uh, all these are default reports created by Splunk. I mean, when you install Splunk, you will see these reports in your system as well. Okay, just check once. You will be seeing this, all these reports with no owner created in your system, because these are the default reports created by Splunk when you have installed Splunk. Okay, so if I select this admin one, it means that these are the report that has been created by me, because I'm the admin of my system. Okay, and if you can recall, like I have created 3 different reports, because and this is why you're seeing these 3 reports. Okay, now if you just click on it, it will open another window. So why, just don't worry about these things, it's not part of this session. All I'm telling you is that this is the query that you have used to create that report, so you can change it from here as well. But for the timing, don't use this particular page. but just use this one as a, I would say as a yeah, as a repository. Yeah, that's it. As a repository for the timing to check like how many reports you have created. Else, like this is the advanced thing because as I said, like this particular page, if you click on it, it will have a lot of options, that you can change. See, a lot of things that you can do. Yeah. So for the timing, just don't use this page. Rather, just limited your search to this repository only. So just go into settings, such as reports and alert, and you will have this all the reports created by you here. Okay. Now the report, or sorry, the page that you will be using is this one. So if you go into your landing page, or if you click on search and report, where you will be seeing this reports. So if you, these are the reports created by Splunk, the first four and the last one. So here you can select yours, and it will display the reports created by you. Okay, you can also select these apps. It's the same thing that I did there. Instead of searching it from the drop down, you can just select these apps. It means the apps, that name that you are seeing here in drop down, this apps means that it's showing you the reports created under this app's context. Okay. Now, like as I was saying, like if Sanketan has created a report and he want me to share that result, so all he has to do is that he has to just share the report name. So once he is done with that, he will email me with the report name. I will go into the reports and I will have that report here, and I will click on it, and I will have the report in front of me like this. Okay. So anything? Oh, you got disconnected. So what's the last thing that you heard? Sanketan, you there?
Is what you're telling. Yeah, this one.
Okay. Okay, so I haven't done so much from this page. So all I was saying is that like this is the page where you'll be able to see all the reports created by you, and if you just click on it, it will open the report for you. Okay, so as simple as that. So it's very straightforward.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Why showing that you have
Yes,
left?
yes, I'm here. I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Okay, so this is how
I don't know.
it's very straightforward. Okay, all right. So what's the name? Save a report as a search as report, edit reports. Okay. All right. Now, next thing that I'm gonna show you is that how we can edit a report. Okay. Excuse me. Now, here it's in this report page itself, you will be seeing one edit option here. Okay. Now, there are a lot of options you will be seeing here, but it's just for the time, consider this one, open in search. So basically what it will do is that it will extract the search query that you have used for your report, and it will open in the search window. Okay. And now again, you can make some twist and turns in your search query. Like let's say you want to use a filter on top of this data, so you can do something like this. Search, say, view. Excuse me. Okay, and you can again save it. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is that I'm editing the existing report. So my the early report that I had was having all the actions. Now I want to edit that report because my requirement has changed, and now I want to create a report based on action equal to view field only. Okay, so what I can do is that I will recreate the report by changing the search query, and I will just click on the save button, and if I save it, it will modify the existing report, or I can use the save as button, the same thing that I did. So it will create a new report for you. So let's just save it because I have already covered it. So let's just save it and click on view. So now you have the same report by action, but you have different view. Earlier it used to be 4 or 5 columns or bars. Now it's as only one because I have changed the search query. Okay, so this is how you can edit your report. So I mean, it's up to the requirement, whether you want to create a new report or you can to change the early report. Okay, and not only the search query, you can change the description as well. You can change the description. It is now blank because at the time of creating this report I didn't mention anything here, so this way is showing you blank. But if I had it been the case that I have mentioned some strings here or some kind of text here, you would have seen here. So you can change it, you can place anything here, or you can just leave it as it is because it's not a mandatory field. Okay. Now you can change the permissions. Not will be not covering here, schedule not covering here, acceleration not covering here. So these 3 things, don't worry about these 3. Okay. Clone is a simple one. You can create a clone of this report. So by default Splunk will add this thing here because the report that you have is having this report by action name. So Splunk will add a clone after this whole thing. You can change it, like let's say report by action, but mention view because you have used the view as a filter. Now clone it. And you can view it from here, or you can just close that window. You go to reports and you will have another report. This one. Okay. So this is how you can clone it. You can embed it. Now embedding is something where you need to schedule it. Okay. So since I haven't covered the schedule report, so I won't be able to show you right now. But what embedding means is that, let's say, when you first log in into Splunk instance, you will have this page. Okay, this is the home page, or I would say this is the landing page of yours. Now, I can modify this landing page. There are techniques available through which you can modify it. But one of the options that is available with Splunk 6. Starting from 6.1, if I am not wrong, or maybe starting from 6. Anyways, so starting from 6 or 6.1, this new feature has been introduced in Splunk known as report embedding. So if you embed it, and if your report is a scheduled one, which I will tell you in course of time how to schedule it, you will have this particular report, this particular chart or report here in the landing page. So basically, this signifies it like let's say that you have this report very crucial, which needs to be understood, or which needs to be known by every user of your Splunk instance, whichever he is. You can embed that report in the home page itself. From here also you can create an embedded report, like you can select drop down sorry a dashboard from the some predefined dashboards created by Splunk. Okay, so let's say if I select it and save it, you'll have this report always in your uh, login page. Okay, so this particular report is not a scheduled one, and since these are the some predefined and auto created reports, so I'm not sure which one will be here getting populated. Okay, this one is getting populated. Anyway, so all I'm trying to convey is that if you create a report, you can embed it, and that report will be visible to all your users or your Splunk user the first time he will log into your Splunk instance. So this is the this is a report, or this is basically, this is not a report, this is a dashboard. Okay, so this is a difference between a dashboard and report. Anyways, so this is the dashboard, the embedded dashboard. Okay, so every Splunk user, whenever they logs in, they will see it. All right, any question? Great. So Sankita, are you there? Is it okay? No, yes. So the no was for my first question. Okay. All right. Now the last option, delete. I think I won't be discussing it because this is an advanced topic. No, I'm kidding. Uh, if you click on delete, it will just delete your report. So it's basically a straightforward thing. You just click on it, and your report will be gone. Now, one thing, let me just share one thing. Like, since I have, I have this admin, right? Or rather, I would say that I logged in as as an admin. This is why you are seeing all these options. Okay. Now, in the Splunk admin class, I will show you that I will create a user account. Okay, not an admin one, not an admin one, and I will show you that all the options that you are seeing is not available. Only one or two will be available over there. So remember, like the page that you are seeing it as an admin. You need to differentiate it, okay? And not all these options will be available when you will be logged in as a Splunk developer, because not all the Splunk instances or infrastructure will cater you this advanced options. Okay, it will change as per your uh, role. All right. What else? Okay. I think I should cover that one. No. Okay. Excuse me. All right. Though it's not part of this particular module, but let me just, it's actually I'm covering something which is part of this module. Okay. So I'll be covering it tomorrow, this 6 and 7. But since I have some time, so I let me just show you a few things. Okay, so this is the search page, right? And I wrote this search query where because my requirement was to create a stats table by client IP. Now, by default, if I go into the events tab, you won't be seeing any data, because the moment you use a command like events tab won't be showing any data to you. Okay, the moment I remove it, excuse me, now you'll have the events coming, or you will be able to see it here. If I click on the stats table here, you won't be seeing anything here, because it will be visible only when you will be using any stats command. Okay, like your search isn't generating any stats of evaluation results, some blah blah blah. Anyways, so the moment you use the stats command, that data will be visible here. Oh, not again. Okay, so events, nothing, the stats will have the data. Don't worry about this patterns tab. Uh, is something which you I will cover it in. Yeah, it's not part of Splunk admin as well. It's actually part of Splunk architect session. Anyways, so just for the time, just skip it. Okay, and the interesting part is the visualization one. This is the most crucial one because you have to take the calls. I mean, you have to take all your calls, like whether it's a column, bar, or whatever. You have to do it here. Okay, so basically the visualization is nothing but the conversion of your data that you are seeing in the stats command, statistics tab. Because in the event section, like if I remove this one, excuse me, these two, statistics and the visualization, these two tabs are correlated. So if one is available, the other one will be available. If one is not available, the other one will be available. Okay, if I go into visualization here, you won't be seeing anything here as well, similar to stats. Now if I placed the query, now since the data is available in the statistics tab, you will be seeing it in the visualization. Okay, now while doing it, I think you have noticed something, right? That the thing that you should be noticing here, like if I remove this one, do this search. Okay, now if I go to job, and there is this, this is something advanced, but let me just show you one thing. If I click on inspect job, you see how many, I mean, the time it took to complete the search. Okay, 16.91 seconds. Okay, 16 seconds to search this many events. Excuse me. Okay, now if I stash it, same number of events, it took only 2 seconds. Whoa. Okay, so earlier it used to be 16 seconds, now it's 2 seconds only. But see the difference? It has searched the same number of events. It's not like the moment I use the stats command is, searching less number of events. It's not. It's searching the same number of events, but it took less time. The reason, I mean, can any one of you make a wild guess like why it's taking less time? Any wild guess will be fine. Why? What do you think
Because
has happened?
it has to just check the client IP and not the whole event.
Okay. Anything else? Sanketan, you want to add anything? Are you there, man? Oh, I think he's not. Oh,
It
you
is,
are.
yeah,
Okay.
could you please once repeat the question? Yeah, I'm.
Okay. So all I'm saying is that like index equal to main. If I just keep this search,
Okay,
it's taking 16 seconds to complete. Okay. Now
okay.
if I add the stats, it's taking 2 seconds. But in both scenarios, it's searching the same number of events.
Mhm. Okay.
So why it's taking less time? Like why it's 1/8 of the time? Any wild guess?
Maybe the order, maybe the order by which it is being executed first.
Order by?
Uh, the execution plan maybe. But I'm not sure like how Splunk internally works. So
Yeah, yeah,
if
I
you
knew
use
that. I think you have wild
yeah,
guess. Anyways,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
okay,
Sally, you're absolutely right. It's instead of like in the main index when I'm searching, it's not only searching the data, but it also extracting all these fields. Okay, all of them, all of these things. But the moment I add this, it's only looking for this client IP and not searching all other fields. This is the reason it will have the only it will have the information of client IP only. Okay, that's why it's 1/8 of time. And another thing is sharing here today. You think it like this time, every time this time will be different for the same number of events. Now you just Google it, search it in Google or whatever you want to. Like why this time is different every time I search it. Like it's 2.213, right? Now I search it. I guess it will be different. Yeah, now it's a different one. Okay, so search Google. Let me know what you think, like why it's different. Anyways, uh, okay. Now coming to the visualization tab. So as I was saying, like this is the excuse me. This is the place where you will be making your call. Like why I'm saying is because from here you can format your data. Okay. Now this is some basic level formatting that you can do, but there is provision of high level formatting, but that cannot be done from here. For that you need to understand, or for that you need to learn advanced dashboard development. Okay, but this is the basic thing that you can do. Like instead of column chart, you can select a bar chart. Excuse me, a pie chart. Okay, uh, like a single value chart also can be done, but it's not making any sense, right? Because you have this two data or two columns, and you want to display that two columns in a single value. Excuse me. So that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so you need to understand your data. You need to understand, like if I have two sets of data, x-axis and y-axis, and how am I gonna proceed once you decide that okay, it has two axes. Says I will be either I'll be making it as column chart or bar chart or area chart or line chart. But if I do it, does it make any sense? Like if I make a line chart of all the clients IPs, does it make any sense? As an end user, is it giving me any insight? So these are the questions that you need to ask yourself uh, to come into any conclusion. Okay. So now you go to column chart. Now, based on the chart that you have selected from the left, you can format it. Now you can stack the chart. Basically you won't be seeing any stack data here because these clients IPs that you are seeing are all unique. Okay, so each bar represents one unique client IP. Had it been the case that you have two different things for a single client IP, this could have been merged into a single bar. So let's say, let me do this something like this. Mm. Now I have created a time chart. So basically earlier the x-axis used to be the client IPs. So each of those bars were representing a client IP. But now here the x-axis is the time. So basically here I have created a report where for each of the each of the days I will have the client IP information. So now for a single day I have a lot of different type of information, so I can stack the result in a single bar. If I go into the statistics tab, you will see that for a particular day I have a lot of data for different IPs. Okay, so each of these colors that you are seeing here is representing a client IP, and that's why you can create a stack here. You can remove that stack from here as well. So it will have different parts or columns. Excuse me. Okay, you can make it 100% stack as well. So the size of each of these bars will be same. Okay, size is same for 100%, but in case of only stack, the size will be based on the events, number of events. Like the this bar will, as you can see that this bar has, you know, the maximum number of events, 4,000, 16, 20,000. So almost 20,000. Okay. Now this one 1,000, 3,000. So 4,000. So this is the least one. Okay. All right. Apart from that, you can create a multi-series mode. So basically, multi-series mode is which is not, will be the best practice for this particular data. And reason why is that this is how the multi-series mode will look like. Basically, multi-series mode is the x-axis will be same, but for individual IPs, it will create different line charts for individual lines. As you can see that the IPs which is having the maximum number of results, those will be visible only, and the rest of them, let's say for this one which is having very less amount of data, it's not visible in the search at all. Okay, so multi-series mode is applicable or is good when you have a similarity between two different kind of data. Let's say I have two IPs where I have a similarity in a sense, like for one IP I have 1,000 events and for another IP I have 1,200 events. So that in that case I can create a multi-series, because in that case both of them will be visible. But if I have three IPs where one IP is representing 1 lakh data and the other two are representing say 100 or 200, only the IP with lakhs of events will be visible in your chart. Okay, so these are the calls that you have to make. Okay. Drill down, I won't be covering it. Data values, don't worry about this one right now. These are the options, x-axis, y-axis. So I'm not going to cover it today. Just explore it by yourself. Okay, and dashboard and stuff. So tomorrow I will cover the module 6, this one, module 7, and if time permits I will be covering module 7. Sorry, this one is actually module 8. So module 8 as well.